Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Vince, and I'll be your host tonight. So, how is everybody doing? Wherever you are right now, we hope you and your family are safe and well. So, first of all, welcome to CICP Rise, the fourth general membership meeting of the Creator and Influencer Council of the Philippines, or CICP. This is our last general membership meeting for the year, so please share to your friends who might be interested in joining us tonight. Now, if it's your first time joining us, then you might be wondering what CICP is. Well, the Creator and Influencer Council of the Philippines, or CICP, was established this year. It's an organization of creators, influencers, and marketing professionals that aim to elevate the country's influencer marketing ecosystem in the Philippines. And hosting a monthly GMM is our way of reaching out to our members and future members. Now, if you're interested in joining, just check out cicp.com.ph. Again, that's cicp.com.ph. So for now, let's say hi to everybody joining in. Thank you all for joining us this Tuesday evening. We are really happy to have you all here, and we hope you are safe and well. So let us know where you are watching from, if it's from around the world or any parts of the Philippines, in the comment section. Now, we know that 2020 has been a challenging year, especially with the recent events that have devastated several parts of the country. We believe now, more than ever, it is time to reach out to our fans, followers, community, stakeholders, and remind them that through our thoughts and actions, we can go through this together. The creator and influencer industry in the country is using the best of its ability to be a force of positive action. As we near the end of the year, let us move forward and rise together. So I am therefore pleased to introduce the keynote speaker for this general membership meeting. She is here to enlighten us better on how one's influence can be of great use and to help our current situation. Please help me welcome, with a big round of applause wherever you may be in this country, McDonald's Philippines Managing Director, Ms. Margo Torres.
Hey Vince, thank you so much.
Hi,
So,
Ms. Margo.
am I qualified to join CICP? I have less than 2,000 friends on Facebook and less than 550 followers only on IG.
Miss
That's
Margot,
so
I think
pathetic, isn't
no,
it?
it's not. It's not. Everybody starts somewhere. We are all here to help each other out. That's why this council was also built. So, Miss Margot, I know everybody is really interested to hear what you have to say. Take it away.
Thank you. At the start of the pandemic, we formed the framework to guide us at McDonald's, and we call it the 6H framework. So, I'd like to share that with you. Um, I'm not sure if the slides are showing, but oh, there we go. So the 6H framework starts with humanity. And we all know that this Black Swan event, very shattering experience, has made us question everything and forced us to realize what is truly important, and it made us rethink the meaning of humanity. We felt we had to understand the context and how COVID-19 has really impacted our business and our brand and our lives. And therefore, we'd be able to know how to respond as a business. So the second H would be health. Health, we know, is the most important thing. It means staying strong to fight the virus, and it's about eating healthy. And the importance for McDonald's would be safety, hygiene, and cleanliness as minimum expectations. The third H would be home. And our home and family have become the central focus during the quarantine, especially at the start, and led us to appreciate the primary importance in our lives. The home is now the fulcrum or the central hub in a person's life. That's why in our business, delivery, drive-through, takeout, digital play an important role. Accessibility to and from the home is now a very basic need. I think you've all heard of the homebound economy. The fourth H would be hardship. And we all know that with this economic downturn and financial pressure on everybody, that the consumer behavior will be trading down. And so McDonald's is placing emphasis on value, affordability, and accessibility, especially in terms of price. The fifth H is hope, and this is the collective sentiment of the community. While we brave through this crisis, we help each other so we collectively become stronger. The role of our brand is about building brand trust. And finally, it's about H, or happiness. And we all know this is part of our Filipino psyche. It's what we do also as a brand for the family and for our customer. And we should ultimately support the brand purpose of McDonald's of delivering feel-good moments. I thought I'd start and frame it that way. And perhaps it will help you understand how we have responded during the crisis and now in early recovery. So it's about maximizing our assets. When 50% of our stores were closed around March till about April, we realized that we have an asset that we may not be able to open a store to serve customers because everybody was at home, but we didn't even have crew because there was no public transport to bring them to the store. But we realized we had a kitchen, and therefore we created our McDonald's Kindness Kitchen with the sole purpose of really cooking, serving meals to frontliners initially and later on to marginalized communities. So our partners like Metrobank, Coca-Cola really helped us, even Angkas Foods, to deliver the meals that we prepared. So to date, after about 8 months, we've already served 350,000 meals. We've also used this to help the typhoon victims. So here's one picture from Bacoor, Cavite. The families there did not only are victims of the typhoon, pero nasunugan pa sila. So talagang, we felt for them, and this was one of the first places we went to. And then we will continue to serve 100,000 meals in cities in NCR and 5 more cities outside Metro Manila. When it comes to maximizing your assets, aside from the Kindness Kitchen, the other asset we have is our people. And it is already ingrained in our operating culture when it comes to safety and cleanliness. Hand washing on a regular basis is not a new thing for our crew and our managers. We used to do it every hour, and because of COVID, this has become more frequent. It's now every 30 minutes. We always sanitize our kitchens and every place in the store. So it was not really a culture shock to the crew. And therefore, around it, we assigned a safety manager and launched our M-Safe campaign. Finally, the asset we have that has helped us survive during this pandemic, especially when dine-in was not allowed, are our drive-through stores. And we realized that it's not just about a 4-wheel vehicle, but certainly anything that's on wheels that can ride through our stores. So let me just share with you a recent initiative of McDonald's and play the video.
In the Philippines, teachers are struggling with distance learning.
Limited Wi-Fi access and no ideal workspaces continue to be the problem in towns and cities everywhere.
Ma'am, kayo po ito, diba? Okay po. Sige ma'am, dito na po tayo sa tingong sa chairs niyo kung saan niyo po dito na po. Dito ka rin. Salamat.
Thank you. And before that, let us watch this. Nakakamiss din po yung mga ingay ng bata. Lalo na po yung pangulit.
Siyempre po, mas namimiss ko po yung mas genuine nila na reaction.
Maraming beses na parang napanghihinaan ako ng loob. Pero ang lagi ko lang iniisip is, paano yung mga estudyante? Anong mangyayari sa kanila kung kaming mga guro ay hindi namin gagawin yung trabaho namin?
Ito yung sinumpaan naming tungkulin bilang mga guro. Habang may bata na gustong matuto, nandito kami para tulungan sila.
So that was our celebration of National Teachers Month. And again, it's about maximizing your assets. We had real estate space that remained unused. And as a brand, we wanted to do good and help our teachers and hence McClassroom. So let me just share a quote from our founder, Ray Kroc. And he always reminds anybody in McDonald's that none of us is as good as all of us. So I'm moving now into a theme of synergizing efforts. So this is already beyond McDonald's. I was called by George Reyeka of Angkas, and he asked me to co-lead the Ingat Angat campaign, which is part of my next topic. And as part of that, I've also been asked by Secretary Nograles to help him with a multi-sectoral zero hunger initiative called Pilipinas Contra Gutom. So let's start first with Ingat Angat. Ingat Angat is an initiative of Task Force T3. That is a private sector-led campaign. It is T3 is a consortium of different conglomerates who have been formed for T3, three T's, test, trace, and treat. So what you see here is the architecture we've put together. So Bida Solusyon, you know, is for DOH. Ingat Buhay para sa Hanap Buhay is the government's campaign targeting workers, while Bida Solusyon targets the DE socio-eco class. Ingat Angat, tayong lahat, whose objective is really to reopen the economy safely and build consumer confidence, focused on the ABC socio-eco class. It's the target market who's comfortable at home. They have Wi-Fi, they're okay with online delivery, they have aircon, and they don't really feel like they need to go out. And therefore, we needed to inject some hope, some reminders that we're resilient as a nation, and it was time to do their part and contribute to reopening the economy safely. We are aware that the situation is uncertain. So the question is, what if we launch a campaign and suddenly the cases rise? What do we do? Do we pull out? Considering the messages, please go out. And therefore, we have a messaging framework, and it considered all situations. One situation is the current situation when we launched, which is a GCQ period, that was October 9, and we wanted to build hope. We wanted to inspire the Filipino that we have survived a lot of crises, and this is also one of them that we will survive. There's also a situation where things get better and we rebound and we will adjust the copy. And then there's also a situation which we all don't want to happen is when things regress and cases rise. And we would have a different message. So we took a contextual marketing approach. We don't want to sound tone deaf. I'm sure you guys as influencers and content creators perfectly understand that. So let me just share our launch video.
Aangat tayo muli. Ito ang paniniwalang ating panghahawakan. Sa ngayon, pangamba at pagdududa ang pumipigil sa ating ibalik ang dating buhay. Pero aangat tayo muli. Dahil may isang bagay na hindi kayang kunin ng COVID sa atin. Ito ang ating pagiging matibay at determinado. Tayo ang lahing hindi natitinag ng bagyo, lindol, baha, at pagsabog ng bulkan. Paulit-ulit bumabangon, ilang beses mang gulpihin ng sakuna. Kaya, aangat tayo muli. Kakayanin natin muli ito. Sa palaging pagsuot ng mask at face shield, paghugas ng kamay, at pagpapanatili ng distansya. Hindi mo lang inaalagaan ang iyong sarili. Kung hindi, pati na rin ang mga nakapaligid sa'yo. Sundan natin ang mga ito at magkasamang salubungin ang sikat ng araw. Sa mga paborito nating lugar. Walang kasiguraduhan ang mga darating na araw. Ang sigurado lang ay kapag isinapuso natin ang pag-iingat, aangat tayo muli. Ingat-angat tayong lahat.
So I'm very, very grateful to over 30 brands that have participated. When we presented the concept, I did say, we always do our own brand campaigns. It's what we do as part of our work on a regular year. And we were actually heeding a calling that if we remove our brand hats and really join forces. So there was really unity and solidarity, made me believe that the bayanihan spirit really exists for the Filipino. And that was, I think, the most inspiring part. And that was the feedback we got from our social listening and our analytics. So where's Ingat Angat gonna go? I think we've achieved the objective of inspiring the Filipino. They needed to hear a hopeful message at that time. It was private sector led. It was very campaign and communications driven. But if you really want to solve the problem of reopening the economy, we need more credible actions. We need it to be multi-sectoral because we do have to influence already the government's actions and work together so we're not kind of stuck in limbo and that we can really move forward with our lives, even if we have to live with the virus. And finally, it's a more holistic approach. It's not only about an online video or maybe a multimedia campaign, but it will also include policy of government, actions that they need to take, the narrative in messaging, as well a business-to-business type of communication so that we can also get the support of the private sector. So moving on to my last topic, this time it's about zero hunger. Hunger as a problem existed even before COVID. And it is really the most daunting, I think, project that's been asked of me to do, even more so than Ingat Angat. From a global standpoint, it is part of the sustainability goal number 2 of the UN, which is very much related to poverty, to health, even to the environment. Even from a local perspective, Task Force Zero Hunger, which was formed under Executive Order 101, signed by the President last January, assigning Secretary Carlo Nograles as its chair. So it is also an interagency task force, but not for emerging infectious diseases, but for zero hunger. So you'll notice in red, those are all the government agencies involved. There are about 24 of them. It feels like they each have their own program and it's a bit siloed. That's why they have an interagency task force to align and synergize the programs better. Technical working groups have been formed and each of them have one KRA. So that feels like, okay, the objective is up to 2030. And it seems that there's a more immediate thing we need to do. And the first thing we need to do is really consider the hungry now. Because there are Filipinos who are going hungry during this pandemic. In fact, SWS already noted about 7.6 million, and you'll see that in the next slide, based on a September reading. The hunger incidence is 30%, much, much higher, probably the highest, because the previous highest was in March 2012. Beyond this, when we solve the hungry because of the pandemic, because of typhoons, what we really need to solve the zero hunger problem more fundamentally is a systemic and sustainable solution. We all believe it takes all of us. Ray Kroc says none of us is as good as all of us, and we all have a role to play to eliminate hunger and malnutrition in the Philippines. Hence, we have formed a movement which will involve not just the government, but the private sector. It is also multi-sectoral, that we call Pilipinas Kontra Gutom. Lahat kasali, lahat kasalo. We've also translated the KRAs of Task Force Zero Hunger of the government into something that we can absorb as a private sector, and we've identified 6 A's. At the bottom of this framework are in gold. Assessment and accountability are really the purview of the government, because it has to do with reviewing regulation and policy, and accountability is about really their commitment to UN when it comes to the environment. And I think the UN has not yet been clear as to what the success measures are. Hence, we are committing as a private sector to 4 of the 6 A's. Availability will be about food production. It's really about increasing productivity of our farmers. Accessibility is also making their local produce more available. Adequacy is addressing malnutrition, not just for kids under 2 or kids under 5, but even pregnant women, lactating mothers, and seniors. And finally, the assistance A is about relief operations, which is our priority now because of the pandemic and the typhoons. In each of these pillars, we have identified in the next slide a target beneficiary. And it's really about food producers, our farmers, for the first 2 A's. And for adequacy and assistance, it's about marginalized families. Sila yung walang pera, kulang ng pambili ng pagkain, kaya nagugutom, or kulang ng nutrition. You see in red how a business, a private company, can actually participate. And I am surprised that there are already existing programs, because companies have their own sustainability goals. They have their own sustainability plan or CSR program. It was a matter of asking them to join the movement and continue whatever they are already doing. So we have launched Pilipinas Kontra Gutom last November 10 under the assistance pillar, and we're talking to more companies who would like to join, and we will have our bigger launch February next year. But I'm very encouraged, because really it takes all of us to end hunger, for the Philippines, and really leave a legacy for the next generation. If they are hungry in the first 1,000 days and they are not, they don't get the right nourishment, whatever happens to their brain makes it really irreversible. And I think we owe that to the future of our country and to our country. So thank you all for listening. I hope Vince is somewhere around and can come back. Vince, are you there?
Hi, Miss Margot. I'm right here. I just have to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you so much for all you're doing. And quite honestly, I got a little emotional. I'm sure a lot of us did with your presentation, the videos, and you are absolutely right. Everybody has a role to play. It's going to take all of us. So on behalf of everybody, thank you. And wherever you may be, another big round of applause for Miss Margot Torres. Thank you, Miss Margot.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you very much, everyone. Shout out to Carlo Ople. I haven't seen you in ages. I hope you're somewhere there.
He's definitely watching. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Margot Torres of McDonald's Philippines. So how about you guys? What did you guys think of Miss Margot's speech? Put them in the comment section, maybe on the right, on the left below, wherever you may put it. But also joining us today, as Miss Margot alluded to, is Carlo Ople, Jonel Uy, Jaco De Leon, Alejandro Tai, aka Mr. GV, and of course, Discover. We also have Discover Manila, Blogapalooza team, and everybody's favorite explorer, Bogart the Explorer. Now, also, if you got any questions, you may type them in the comment section and we'll try to answer them later on. But please do stick around. We have a very, very interesting discussion coming right up. So now let me introduce to you our Fireside Chat moderator for this GMM, CICP Vice President Ace Gapos.
Hi, Vince. Good evening. Good evening to everybody who's watching us tonight.
Hi, Ace. How are you?
Very good. I was really inspired by that talk of Margot, the Mac Classroom. That's so good. Sure din kasi.
Yeah, and it makes you really emotional and want you to do more, right? With everything going on. I know. I lost my train of thought actually for a while. But Ace, I won't keep you. We have a very interesting discussion coming up.
Yes, we do.
I can't wait to hear all about it. So Ace, take it away.
Thank you, Vince, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're feeling empowered from Margot's wonderful keynote speech. But before we begin our fireside chat, I'd like to acknowledge everyone watching us, not just from the Philippines, but all over the world, or the universe, rather, they say. Thank you for joining us today. Now, let me introduce to you our panelists for this GMM. Please welcome Dole Philippines General Manager, Banjo Castillo. What's up, Banjo? Hi. Right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Content creator and influencer, Richard Juan.
Hello.
What's up,
How are you
Richard?
guys doing? Hi.
Right. And of course, CICP Director for Legal, Public Policy, and Government Relations, Attorney Goyo Larazabal.
Evening. Evening.
So good to hear it. It's refreshing to see all three of you in the frame. Welcome to our fireside chat tonight. Welcome, Banjo. Welcome, Attorney Goyo and Richard. But before we get started with all the questions, please share with us if you have any advocacies and maybe your present initiatives to, help and aid our less fortunate kababayans that are not just affected by the pandemic, but also some of the recent calamities, recent typhoons that have happened in the Philippines. Maybe you could start with that, Attorney Goyo. I know you have a lot.
Well, we've been going around the Philippines, especially Luzon. No? We've been delivering relief goods to northern Luzon, which is Isabela, and we just came back from Catanduanes. I think we should remember that Bicol was hit by several typhoons within just a span of 1 month, and they need our help. So we continue to help them, and CICP's at the forefront of trying to help out.
Right. That's good. Thank you for that, Attorney Goyo. In fact, Bea from our team later will tell us more about #CreatorsUnitedPH. But before that, Banjo also has something to tell us about.
Oh, for Dole, actually, our Chief Marketing Officer tells us that we're actually quite lucky that we can eat our purpose. Meaning, when we talk, our CSR is not different from our business model, and what we actually do is how we help people. And our purpose is providing access of nutritious food through the power of food. So what we've been doing is really very much aligned to what we do as a business. So I think this year we've launched the most affordable real juice. So I think most of the juice out there, I won't mention which brands, are not really nutritious if you look at the back of label. So we launched Seasons Juice, which is actually quite the most affordable. Is you can get 100% juice. Right. We've also cleaned up we cleaned up all our biggest product, which is our fruit cocktail, to have no added sugar or anything like that, because we really wanted to make sure that it's not access to nutritious food only, but everyone that actually touches our product gets the best of nature. But pertaining specifically to the hungry that Margot has talked about, we actually partnered with them. So we are one of the pioneer partners for Margot in Filipinas Contra Gutom. So we started with partnering with McDonald's charities, but now I think the big one that we're really involved in is we just launched a week back as part of Filipinas Contra Gutom, Brand Aid, which is Noche Buena Para sa Lahat, which is an initiative with 4 other big companies like Unilever, Century, RFM, to actually sponsor the Noche Buena to the most families possible this Christmas, and to give thanks especially for the Filipinos who have really helped us and supported our brand through the year. So I think we launched it last week. We're now live in Lazada, and I think that's probably the top of mind biggest initiative that if someone in CICP really wants to support, that's really where you could really help to sponsor a Filipino family for Noche Buena.
Right. That's an amazing effort. Thank you for that, Banjo. It's so good to see brands or different companies that are not competing, but really collaborating. I love seeing more of that. And of course, Richard also has some advocacies of his own that he might want to share with us.
Yeah, for me naman, I am actually Goodwill Ambassador of SOS Children's Village here in the Philippines. And with them, because one of my biggest advocacies is really youth empowerment and also supporting the youth. So this is why, and I've been working with them for a couple of months already. And I was very fortunate, very blessed that they honored me as one of their Goodwill Ambassadors this year. So with them naman, because of the pandemic, because of all the natural disasters, the calamities that happened, a lot of their support or their fundings were actually cut. Because of course, everyone's tight with their money. So they would still need a lot of support, as much money as they can raise, hopefully, because of right now how everything is, all their classes are all online. So they need more tablets, they need more computers, so that all the kids there will be able to have access to education properly.
Super good to hear. We also support SOS. I mean, I've been supporting 2015 yata. I mean,
wow.
Anyway, that's good to hear. And I promise I'll be there. Also, our viewers are going to be supporting all these efforts, endeavors that we've been doing. But anyway, onward to our guys. Audience is so excited to know more about your thoughts about these things. Now, I want to start with something that's more general, something that I would want everybody to have an input in. From a brand and creator or influencer perspective, what roles do you think the creators and the influencers play in being a force for positive action, especially, of course, for the next generation? And maybe we could go the order of Attorney Goyo na lang first.
I defer to them muna. Sila muna.
Is the representative here? Maybe you could go first.
Yes.
What role do you think do we play as creators?
For me, honestly, creators play such a huge, massive role, especially when it comes to, like you said earlier, like the positive action for the next generation. Because especially now we're in the pandemic, everyone's most people are at home. They have more time to be on their phones, have more time to be on their computer, laptops, and they keep consuming content. And us as brands or even as creators, because how I see it is a creator is also a brand, and we have such a big role to play in the sense that we should be leading by example. Like just an example for this is I remember during the start of the pandemic, I was sourcing for materials, PPEs specifically from Hong Kong. Kasi during that first month in March, we were struggling and we didn't have enough PPEs for the frontliners, etc., etc. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna find a way to find PPEs in Hong Kong because I grew up in Hong Kong, I have connections in Hong Kong, and I remember I was posting about the process. And I was receiving, in a way, hate from it for, why are you're trying to help? No, why do you have to post about it? But I'm like, for me, I feel like that's what we need to do. To lead by example instead of during this pandemic, during the content I see a lot of people doing content that are kind of on the negative side. There are people who are spreading hate, the whole cancel culture, and then I remember there are influencers out there who were not doing or observing proper protocols, wearing masks. So a lot of these things are. We have to remember that us creators, as general, we have to remember that we have a platform, we have an audience. We need to lead by example. I think that's the most important thing here, to lead by example.
Right. That's very well said from a creator. I'll go to the other opinions later, no? But this one, because I really want to know more naman about the brand side. Now, for Banjo specifically, during COVID, how do you decide on a brand message that you would want to tell? And what are the things that you're looking for when you work with influencers and maybe other brand partners?
Well, I think for Dole, we the brand message doesn't change regardless of COVID or not. We are lucky that our purpose, we can eat our purpose, meaning our purpose doesn't change regardless of whatever happens, because access to nutrition, good nutrition, is relevant regardless of what happens. And it just so happens it became more relevant actually when it came to COVID-19. So I think with COVID, we just put it into high gear, that if there was a time that we need to really make sure through our actions, not just through our innovations or products, but how we act with our employees, with our communities, what sort of brand messages we do out there. This is the time. So I think it's just about really, we've increased our investment on the products we launch, on the communication we have on social media or wherever else during this pandemic, when a lot of people have pulled down, because essentially we knew that this is our time to be consistent with our brand message.
It's taking advantage of the situation, kumbaga.
And I think it's not taking advantage, but more of
that's the wrong word.
We need to step into our role. For 169 years, that's been our role. But when is it even more relevant than now? So I think in a lifetime, it's not been as relevant as now. So I think we just wanted to step into that. Now, when it comes to your question a while ago, how do we partner with brands and influencers? So I think, like, I agree with what Richard said. Influencers are brands themselves, right? So what we really look for to partnership is they need to genuinely align with our purpose, and it needs to be genuine. So even when it comes to do they really like eating healthy food? Do they really want to really talk about it and really espouse that? Or is it really, because if it's going to be fake, people will see that. I mean, because it starts with us. I mean, in Dole, when we communicated our purpose, we took out all the junk food from our office. No, we cannot. It cannot be. We cannot be saying that we will talk about nutritious food and then suddenly be eating all the junk food we want in the office. So it's the same when how we act with creators. That do you really believe in the cause? Is it really something that you really want to talk about? Because if it is, then we want to partner with you in the long haul. No. And having that sort of consistency, alignment on what we want to achieve, for me, is the most important part. And I think if I were just to add one more, also we want to partner with influencers that are able to be more positive during this time. I think I like what Richard said, because there's already so much negativity and pessimism happening. So if you're going to communicate something in a message, be positive, give hope, give laughter, or entertain at least. There's so much negativity around that I mean, our tagline for Dole is sunshine for all. We cannot partner with someone that actually brings gloom. So I think those are the two things: alignment with our purpose, and the tone needs to be positive, and I guess filled with sunshine. No.
Yeah, thank you for that, Banjo. It's so good because there are creators also that are watching us tonight, and it's good that they hear that straight from a brand. Now, when we talk about, we were talking about all the efforts, all the initiatives, the advocacy that you were doing. For Attorney Goyo, I wanted to really delve more into that. At this point in time, with everything that's happening, how difficult is it to inspire people to help or take action? And you've been doing all of these things. Sorry, what are the key factors also that we need to do to achieve these results?
Okay. People need to be inspired. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to inspire them, especially in the middle of a pandemic. There is donor fatigue already. As compared to previous calamities, now it's harder for people to donate because they themselves are suffering. Not many people are earning as much as they did before, but they still help. No, the important thing is we have to realize when you help, what's important is you help without thinking of anything, getting anything in return. Also, when you help, it doesn't matter if you're helping less now than before, but you continue to help you continue to reach out to fellow Filipinos who are suffering and show them that, hey, maybe you had a string of bad luck, got hit by several typhoons, but remember that there are fellow Filipinos who are going to go out of their way to make sure that they extend a helping hand to make you stand back up. So what's important is you have to relay that message. You not only give, but you have to inspire also those who have suffered to help them be encouraged to stand back up and try to pick up the pieces.
Right.
But it is difficult. It is difficult in the middle of a pandemic. I tell you, it's so hard.
It's so difficult to rally, gather donations. Ang hirap. Before it was, before everybody was super willing to help, no? But then, once into it, andun pa rin tayo sa donation drives. Anyway, this question, I want to direct it to Richard and Attorney Goyo specifically because I see them very, very active in Twitter. And ang laking issue talaga nito in most of the creators. How do you navigate around the toxic positivity and the cancel culture?
Richard, go ahead. Richard, go ahead, and I'll follow. I'll go after.
I guess that's the thing with toxic positivity is something that I've actually discussed about on Twitter sometimes. Din, kasi parang like there's so much that there's only so far that can go with the whole positivity thing. Kasi no matter what, yes, you can be positive, but if you don't take action, nothing will happen. Like you really need to take action in order for something to become better. And a lot of influencers out there, I think they don't. I think the right word here might be they don't realize their own influence or realize the power. And how do I say this? They forget in a way that when it comes with great power, there's responsibility. Tama ba yung line na yan? Tama ba yung line na yan? And yeah, so it's all about for me that, but may action then from your positivity. Yes, I'm positive about everything, but if you don't take action, it doesn't change anything. And then for the cancel culture naman, yes, I understand there's some people that can make mistakes. They are young, and especially a lot of influencers and creators are young and, excuse me, but sometimes naive then. They think that they can be real, they can be authentic, and that's fine. But you can be real and authentic, but you got to be careful with what you're saying then. And you can't just say everything that you want to say because you have to remember you have a huge audience now. Hindi tulad dati na parang, let's say, a small group of friends lang. And you have to remember that whatever you say will directly affect the people that are looking at their content. So yes, at the same time, a lot of negativity because of the cancel culture. You have to find people are just so used to say that, okay, nagamali siya, let's cancel him na, let's cancel her na. But honestly, after a couple of months later, nawawala na din yan eh. So this whole cancel culture just does not make sense to me at all. Ang dami ko sinabi.
Pero mahirap talaga yung cancel culture, no? Naging culture na siya talaga. And sometimes it's not really good. Ikaw naman, Attorney Goy, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, you know what? The guiding principle is you want to help people. You want to do good. Not everybody will like what you're doing. You can't please 100% of. You can't please everybody. So, just your guiding principle should be: I want to help people. I want to do good. But, like Richard said, you just don't remain in the internet. You don't just remain in social media. You have to convert that action into real world positivity. How? You take action by helping people on the ground. You encourage them to help online, but you also convert that to distributing goods or helping people or trying to help those affected stand back up. So it's a holistic approach that you want to help other people who are not just as fortunate as yourself. No, but again, there might be some people who want to help, but they want to do it quietly. There are some people who want to help, but they are more vocal about what they do. Maybe it's also to inspire others to do what they do, to create a bandwagon effect. Not everybody will like what you do. As long as you're doing it for the right reasons, keep on doing it. Others will understand after.
Yeah, words of wisdom talaga yan from the wiser generation, I'd say. Anyway, Yeah, well, time is running out, and I wanted to ask this question to you all of you, something that's very short lang but memorable. When you think of the word rise, what comes to your mind? It doesn't have to be long. It can be very, very short. But when you think of the word rise, for Banjo, what comes to your mind?
Is get up after being knocked down.
Ooh,
I think that's
love it.
that's what I think about, and I think especially relevant to where we are right now. That's the top of mind that I think about when I think about rise.
Love it. Thank you for that, Banjo. How about you, Attorney Goyo? When you think of the word rise,
thing that comes to mind is change for the better. We rise and change for the better. That's it. We rise up and change for the better. We don't do what we used to do. We just change for the better.
Thank you for that. And Richard, of course, rise. What comes to your mind?
I guess just like what Attorney said, no, like we really just rise up to become a better person, and I think that's something that a lot of people or a lot of influencers I feel can take note of this. Na parang remember that you having a platform, you can influence so many people to rise up and become better people by setting an example and taking the lead.
I love that. Thank you all for your good vibes, for your positive energy, and your amazing insights.
Thank you.
Yes, another inspiring Fireside Chat has ended. We hope you learned a thing or two from our discussion tonight. And of course, thank you to our panelists, Banjo Castillo, Richard Juan, and Attorney Goyo Larazabal. I must say, that was one of the best discussions that I had. Ang saya makinig. If you guys have projects or causes that you might want to share with us, please go ahead and invite our viewers out there. Meron pa ba apart from your kanina mga nasabi na natin? All good? We're all good?
All good.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you to our panelists. Back to you, Vince.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ace. And again, thank you to all our panelists for your wonderful insights about the creator and influencer industry during this time. Again, thank you. And Ace, as always, great job.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Again, Ace, we'll see you maybe later on. Again, thank you, Ace. So how about the rest of you who are watching us live? What do you guys think of the conversation during the Fireside Chat? Let us know in the comment section. Now, moving on here at the Creator and Influencer Council of the Philippines, we look towards moving forward and doing what we can in our own small ways. This has been brought forth initiatives such as Creators United PH. So as you may recall, we started Creators United PH a few months back to help our medical frontliners in the fight against COVID-19. Now, tonight, CICP Secretary and Bicon Infest Creative Head Bea Everdone will give us a peek at what we have done, and this time for our new wave of influencers, our teachers, during the country's biggest virtual gathering of creators and influencers, Bicon Infest 2020. Hi, Bea.
Hi, Vince. It's so nice to see you. How are you?
I'm great, Bea. Everybody's excited to hear from you, so you can take it away.
All right. Hi, good afternoon. I mean, good evening to everyone watching us today. Again, my name is Bea Alfaro-Verdone, and I'm saying hi to all of you from the Queen City of the South, that is Cebu City. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon or this evening, and I'm pretty sure that you would agree with me. Now we have learned so many things, and we are all inspired to actually rise after listening to the different initiatives of our speaker and, of course, our panelists today. So this afternoon, this evening, I'm going to be talking about the initiative that we have for the Creators and Influencers Council of the Philippines, which is #Creators United PH. So I'm going to be sharing my slide right now. If we could please get there. So Creators United PH is the corporate social responsibility or CSR arm of the Creator and Influencer Council of the Philippines. Now, we all know that CICP was created to actually elevate the standards of content creation and influencer marketing in the Philippines. But at the same time, we also believe in the power of influence to actually mobilize people to rise and help each other. And so we have created this movement, #Creators United PH, to be on the lookout for any needs of our fellow Filipinos. And let me give you a quick overview of the things that we have done. So Hashtag Creators United first occurred last May 2020 when we actually united different creators and of course our members to mobilize and get united to actually raise funds to procure PPEs to our medical frontliners. And we're very happy to actually have given 500 PPEs that are medical grade and DOH approved to medical frontliners across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So that's 500 PPEs that we have given already. And so we'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the members, our members who actually helped, the creators who actually pitched in, and of course to our donors and everybody else who made this cause possible. And of course, last month, it's exactly a month ago, we actually held the first and biggest virtual gathering of creators and influencers in the Philippines, which is ByCon Infest. And we were able to gather 108 influencers, and the goal of the event was really to spread the responsible use of social media. But at the same time, we acknowledge that there are bigger influencers who are in need of our help. And those are our teachers. So we partnered with the Philippine Public School Teachers Association to be able to assist them and support them in their challenges right now, which is distant learning. So we have mounted the event. We have raised funds to actually provide them with different digital teaching kits that include a pocket Wi-Fi, a ring light, a flash drive, and all of those things that they actually need to help them with their mission of teaching. And so we are currently in the process of purchasing and procuring all the digital teaching kits, and we are very excited to actually give it to them before the year ends. So if you guys would want updates on that, kindly follow us on social media to see our turnover to our teachers from the Philippine Public School Teachers Association. Of course, very recently, I'm pretty sure that you guys already know that the country has been devastated by typhoons. And so we are seeing a lot of Filipinos that are homeless, that are hungry, that are in danger, and most especially still deserving of a happy Christmas. And so for December, we are again using the movement Hashtag Creators United PH for Christmas. And we would like to gather and mobilize different means and ways to actually raise and gather medicines, vitamins, food and hygiene kits to the families and our fellow Filipinos who are actually having a hard time right now. And of course, what we want to be able to do with them or to them is make them realize that even if it's hard, even if it's challenging, you guys definitely deserve a good Christmas and a happy Christmas with your families. So on the second week of December, we will be mobilizing yet again, and we'll be providing them with the following medicines, vitamins, food, hygiene kits, and even a hot meal to actually make them feel the spirit of Christmas. So if you guys are interested to donate or to help, please put your details in the comment section. We'd love to connect with you. And at the same time, you can also message us on social media at cicp.ph on Instagram. And at the same time, here on Facebook, you're watching us right now. So go ahead and send us a message. Every help that we can get can definitely go a long way. So I think this is the perfect way to say that, you know what? Creator or not, whoever you are, as long as we are united, we will rise together. And especially for CICP, we believe that influence is very powerful, especially during this time. So we would like to encourage everyone to believe that our influence is needed to actually unite and to be of service to our fellow Filipinos, especially those who are in need. So thank you very much, and I hope that you guys are inspired to actually make a donation, to rise together. And this is a promise from the CICP. We will always be united, and we'll always be on the lookout to help all of you. Back to you, Vince. Thank you very much.
Bea, thank you so much. You guys never fail to inspire us. And to your point, where would we be, both professionally and personally, without our teachers in our lives? And they are our great influencers as well. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Bea Verdone, give her a big round of applause wherever you may be. Thank you, Bea. All right, so what do you guys think of this initiative? Again, please put your answers, your thoughts, your comments, your questions in the comments section below or wherever you put them in your screen, and we'll try to get them as soon as we can. Now for this GMM, we are introducing the monthly CICP Spotlight, which will put the spotlight on a CICP member so he or she can share their innovative or worthwhile ideas, campaigns, or pieces of content, or in this case, enjoin everyone to come together and work for the common good. So at this point, allow us to put the spotlight on the CICP member who has been doing good and helping others during these challenging times, who has been using his influence to help people rise together. He and his team use their social media channels when Ulysses hit the Philippines by sending prepaid loads to victims so they have means to communicate about their safety. Let's all welcome CICP member Alejandro Tai, aka Mr. GV, and his Create Good Vibes Guys Facebook group. Please watch this.
I'm Alejandro Sitay, or they call me Alex. Good Vibes is a world-class social media group. And the vision is to be a world-class online and offline community wherein different people come to uplift each other. One of our mission statements is to become one of the world's loved, most respected, and most metamorphic or transformative community, or your tinatawag nating support group or support community. We embrace all facets of emotion. That's why we allow interactive questions in our group, like on how to deal with difficult people, on how to deal with chronic stress or anxiety. And we are not motivational group per se. We are reminding you that you are the motivator. And within 4 months, we saved already 23 suicidal lives bukod pa sa depressive. Was with Cicp Gores Vilayo and Company, or SDV, or the Ernst & Young as famous worldwide. Then eventually I achieved being a Chief Financial Officer. Pero nasanay ako na there's something with you na if you meron ka ng yung naabot mo na yung gusto mo, you want to share naman kung sino ka talaga. Na hindi naman sa pagiging motivator, pero gusto kong na pag nakita ako, ay ito si Mr. Good Vibes, parang nag-a-anchor na. Pag nakita ka, uy, napapa-smile mga tao.
Let's create good vibes, guys.
Good vibes, great vibes.
Thank you for sharing you and your team's programs and advocacies that are helping Filipinos rise together, Alejandro. You're an inspiration to us and to many people watching us tonight. Thank you also to our keynote speaker, Ms. Margot Torres, the Managing Director of McDonald's Philippines, to our Fireside Chat panelist and our Fireside Chat moderator, CICP Vice President Ace Capos. Now, before we close this month's GMM, we'd like to invite those who are not a CICP member yet, but are wanting to be. You may visit our website at www.cicp.com.ph and follow us on our socials to know more about how to become a member. To our CICP members, there will be a year-end wrap-up scheduled on December 8th, so we can end this year together. Our member brands, agencies, influencers, creators will be joining us, so stay tuned for those details in our official CICP member pages. And now, before we close this GMM, we'd like to close it by telling our fellow Filipinos who are currently facing challenges in 2020 that we are with you. We pray for you and your family's safety and good health. We believe that we can all overcome this phase as you move forward and rise together as one country. We believe that we will come out stronger after all of this together. This has been your host, Vince Velasco, and again, we'll see you in January. Stay safe, everybody. See you soon.